Pleasant Creek Hospital, situated on the west edge of Stawell, Victoria, here in Australia. For nearly 20 years, this facility has been left unused and abandoned, and apart from one time, it has completely flown under the radar of the paranormal field and those who seek answers to whether some spirits stay behind after death. The entire facility was in operation for over 130 years and served first as a hospital and then as a training and care facility for the disabled. We know these type of facilities are a cauldron for humans to experience happiness, sadness, hope, despair, abuse, and obviously, death. One dreadful case dates back to June 1867, where 3 young boys died as a result from a house fire. The boys became trapped in the kitchen of the home. The father was able to reach the boys through the smoke and drag them outside to safety, where they were then taken to this hospital for treatment. Unfortunately, over the following week, all of the boys died one by one as a result of their burns. Dr. Edward J. Bennett was involved in the initial treatment and care for these 3 boys, and in 1877 Dr. Bennett again would witness another unfortunate death, which is that of council worker Joseph Mitchell, who was thrown from his horse and received a compound fracture to his leg. A serious but non-life-threatening injury turned into a nightmare for Mitchell, as the resident doctors were summoned to nearby Ararat to give evidence in a murder trial, thus leaving Mitchell undertreated and dying only days later from gangrene in his wound. Could tragic circumstances like these be enough for human spirits to stay behind after death? Pleasant Creek Hospital is a fresh canvas when it comes to documenting paranormal activity, and that is exactly what myself and Justin are here to try and do.
It's in the corner, just directly around the corner.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Did you get that gush of breeze then?
No.
Alright, Keenan just documented an 8.1 spike on the millimeter. What the?
Give us your name.
The township of Stawell is located in the Wimmera region of Victoria, which is 237 kilometres west-northwest of Melbourne and lies right beside the beautiful Grampians mountain ranges. But Stawell is most well known for its foot race, the Stawell Easter Gift, which brings together the best sprinters within Australia and also sprinters from international countries. The town site was first settled in 1853 and was named Pleasant Creek after the discovery of alluvial gold at Pleasant Creek, and this being the height of the gold rush period in Victoria, prospectors were turning up from all over as the mining boom continued to rise at both Ballarat and Bendigo. The population was growing to a point where a new hospital had to be built, and this obviously was the Pleasant Creek Hospital. The building was completed and commenced operations in 1861, Gradually there were alterations and additions made to the hospital, which included a front balcony and side verandas. Vegetable gardens were added to enable produce to be grown on site. There was also a skylight and a larger window added to the operating theatre. The Syme ward was added in 1904, which was specifically for infectious diseases. This photo shows the medical and nursing staff in 1933, just 1 year before transitioning across to the new Stawell Hospital, which would open in 1934, as shown here. With the opening of this new facility, the Pleasant Creek Hospital became a training centre and live-in care facility for the mentally and physically disabled, where it served this purpose right through to its closure in 1999. As history has shown us, caring for the vulnerable and disabled can attract the most kind-hearted people and not so kind-hearted people when it comes to staff, and Pleasant Creek Training Centre was no exception, when a dark history of serious abuse, including rape, was uncovered when an independent inquiry was launched into the training centre in 1990, led by Jude Wallace, who was the Deputy Chairperson of the Law Reform Commission of Victoria. The inquiry delved deep into the allegations of sexual assaults, theft and even suspicious deaths, which led to 51 charges of rape, indecent assault and false imprisonment against a long-standing member of one of the staff of the centre. It was found that a male-dominated management was enabling the protection of the perpetrators through consistent harassment and intimidation tactics well after the assaults had taken place. This led to a culture where male staff members were turning a blind eye to the assaults, and the female staff members were too scared to report or come forward regarding what they had witnessed towards the patients or towards themselves as victims of harassment and intimidation. So the very place where the disabled and vulnerable should feel safe, they have actually experienced the exact opposite through abuse and assaults. Within the paranormal field, when you investigate a location with this sort of history, it always begs the question, has a haunting been left behind, whether it's residual or intelligent, or both? The walls of these buildings are over 100 years old and would have witnessed and more than likely absorbed the complete array of human emotions that are associated with a hospital, including those that surround death. Justin and I come here with the hope that this building will help show its past staff and patients as they were in life, or as they are still now in death. We make the 5.5-hour drive from Adelaide and arrive at roughly 3:30 PM. This gave us plenty of time to meet up with the owner and to be shown around, then set up for our night investigation. Keenan is the proud new owner of this entire building, and he wants credible investigators to try and find out whether there are any hauntings attached to the building. He was kind enough to stop in the middle of his renovations and show us around.
Whoa, what's this?
Cold, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everyone walks in here, it's always a cold feeling. Temperature drops and
Wow.
fireplace was there. You got the old 1960s sort of. Transfers up above.
This wing was part of the main original building structure and was once used as a children's ward. The extension of this ward was also used as a senior girls' dormitory.
Here's the operating theatre.
Okay. Operating theatre right here.
So we pulled up the carpets, the carpet tiles, and this, I guess.
So back in the day, they would have used natural light, of
Yeah,
course.
that's why the big giant windows. It used to originally be 3 windows like that on there, and then they put this in about 1870 to get more light in, and around about 1870, 1880 they put a skylight in to get more light.
Wow.
Operating theatres are always potentially a hotspot for activity, for obvious reasons of people dying, some more horrifically than others.
This is what I'm pretty sure this was the old morgue.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Now, one of the guys had come through a couple of years ago, reckons he was taking a piss there and had a rock or something
Thrown at him.
thrown in it. Hit like.
Yes.
That rock there. But
Really?
Yeah.
Is that the rock that he reckons it was thrown?
Yeah.
You want to pick it out?
This area being the old morgue, we will definitely be setting up cameras and concentrating on trying to capture EVP in here. As we walked around with Keenan, he filled us in on what he has learned and uncovered about the history of the building. He was able to share some details about the only other group before us to ever investigate this location, which was Wimmera Paranormal, and you will hear him talk about that in a few moments. Keenan also elaborated on the ideas that he has in store to open up parts of this building to the public again.
Mate, there's a bit of a function. I'll clean this up as a function thing where we have an open fire, a little bar there, people can have a Christmas party or a little engagement party or something here.
Yep.
And then these rooms here, these are all partitioned off later on. I'll knock them off and make a big open plan sort of thing. I've got an EVP stand right here, talking to another bloke from Wimmera Paranormal. Me and him was talking during the day and then it said, shit, I can't remember now, what did I say? Get out or something like that. I think it was like get out. Yeah. He said they're the only ones that I know of that investigated that about 3 years ago, one night, and he said that he had a dark figure, like a black figure, like shoot up the wall, to the ceiling.
Really? In this room right here?
Yeah. So we were talking about that.
And then you got the EVP.
We picked up in the day to see how we played it back.
Perfect. They're the things that just make it even more legit, EVP and visual. Something visual happening as well.
We then made it over to the infectious disease ward, which acted as a quarantine area for patients.
Oh, there we go. Access granted.
Kitchen.
Whoa, this has got a weird feel too. It's like the colour of this room really it wants to make you feel bright, but you know there's, I don't know, it's really weird, the colour of this room.
This being the infectious disease ward, there is no doubt that it would have housed terminally ill patients that then would have died within these walls. And for me, when I walked into this ward, my personal experience was one of uneasiness. I can't explain exactly why I felt like this, but as investigators it is crucial to take notice of these things, as our mind and bodies are essential tools for detecting changes in the environment which could mean paranormal activity.
The old buildings that are
Wow, look at that.
So this is where I got the EVP that was saying on fire or something, not stage.
A man's voice or a girl's voice or?
Man's voice.
Yep. Saying I'm on fire.
Yeah, the guy from Wanted Australia.
Shit.
And he said how you want to sit down for a minute and feel it hot. So I sat down on the edge and then played it back after talking to his mate and the voice and said that.
Alright, camera in here. At this point we let Keenan get back to packing up for the day, and we headed straight back into the main building to conduct a preliminary sweep which included EMF readings and also trying to capture some EVP in a few of the predicted hotspots. Utilising the daylight is important for us, as hauntings are not isolated to the night obviously, so it would be silly to not try and document evidence during these daylight hours. I also utilised this time to shoot stock footage of the building from different angles and views so we can then use it in our video productions afterwards. But most importantly, this extra time walking around can possibly be for any spirits that are here to get more curious and therefore more comfortable with us. As night falls, we go and prepare all of our equipment, have something to eat and basically chill out for a while before we go in and attempt to unlock some of the secrets that may be hidden within this establishment.
Alright, we're at Pleasant Creek Hospital. This place has only been investigated once since it closed down in the mid-90s. And that was about 3 years ago from now. It's 2017. And me and Justin, we have this whole site to ourselves tonight and tomorrow night. This only been investigated once briefly during a night investigation. They did not sleep in here, which we are intending to do tonight. We'll be locking ourselves in. So what we're going to do, we're going to head in. We've got our cameras just inside the door. We're going to do a walk around with night vision first. Then set up the cameras and do more and go from there. So here goes.
Yeah,
ready,
let's
man?
do it. I'm ready.
Okay. Do you want to do the honours, man?
Locked.
Good enough.
Yeah.
We are locked in. All right. There's our equipment. We'll come back after we roam around and see what we can pick up straight away with night vision.
I'm only going by looking at this video screen, because without it I would not have a clue where I'm walking. That's cool.
I just want to make note that if right now, because Justin and I are both on the same level, we're sort of commentating through, so you might hear Justin's voice come through as he might hear mine, so we're going to actually have to sort of disclude that as potential EVPs because he's down the other end of this ground level at the moment. Holy shit, what is that? I've got to find a rock. I've got to throw a rock around that corner because I don't know what it is. It looks like there's something on the ground. I want to see if it fucking scares it. I don't know if it's alive or what.
What, you think it's a rock?
No, I want to find a rock so I can throw it in there to see if whatever I think is on the ground is like an animal or something.
Oh, really?
I don't know. There's some weird black thing on the floor around the corner.
I heard something out in the bushes out front of the main station. So
Yeah, there's a brick down here. I don't know. It looked. I didn't want to go right up to it. It didn't move, but it looked like something fucking. What the? Oh, that was me. I must hit play. I bent over. Put it in my back pocket.
Where is it?
Look around that corner. Hang on. It's like directly to the left of that corner. Stick your fucking head around there and look. It's like black on the ground. I can't tell what it is. It's in the corner, just directly around the corner. What is it?
I don't know.
It looks like a group of bats or some shit.
Oh, yeah. It does, doesn't it? You can put the torch on.
I've got a zoom on it at the moment. Hang on.
But bats hang upside down, don't they?
Yes. They might be floor bats. Oh no, it just looks like a... it's like melted plastic or some shit.
Yeah.
Fuck, I thought it was a cat first. Anyone still here, living in this facility? Don't be afraid of us. We're just having a look. We're interested in your home. Are we intruding on anyone? Are we in someone's personal space right now? Okay, we're about to go into the infectious diseases ward they used. Yeah, pretty sure this was the door. there would have been a lot of death in here.
The infectious disease ward.
Used as a quarantine section of the hospital. So, I think from memory in that book, I saw photos from like 1904, so tuberculosis would have been definitely one of the diseases that would have been quarantined in here, and no doubt deaths from it. I'm getting goosebumps. Yep. When I walked into here, I just got that shiver.
When we experience sensations like this, we always try and establish some sort of communication by asking a series of questions in hope of receiving an intelligent response, either by hearing a disembodied voice or receiving some EVPs, which is what we try here.
Okay, we're going to introduce ourselves. My name's Paul.
My name is Justin. We believe this is the infectious disease ward.
Is there anyone that still roams this ward of the hospital? When I walked into this room, I felt like there may have been a presence in here. Is someone in here with us?
Can you show us something? Can you tap on the wall?
Hang on. Sound like someone goes, yes.
Oh, really?
Did you hear it? Listen.
Yeah.
That's a yes. Is that a yes?
Yeah.
It sounds like some sort of yes.
Whenever possible, we always review the cameras to make sure either of us weren't making noises while we were recording.
I felt like there may have been a presence in here. Is someone in here with us?
Can you show us something? Can you tap on the wall?
As you can see and hear, neither of us speak during that pause between questions.
When I walked into this room. I felt like there may have been a presence in here. Is someone in here with us? Yeah, sure. Is someone in here with us? Yeah, sure.
This seems to be an intelligent response, as the voice activation has been engaged directly after I have asked the question and before Justin asked the next question.
Whoa, this has got a weird feel too. It's like when I walked into here, I just got that shiver.
After feeling these sensations and capturing that EVP, could it be possible that there's still a male patient roaming this ward? We continue searching to try and find out.
Feel free to come up and grab us on the arm or get our attention. If you're watching us walk around, don't be shy, come up to us. We don't mean you any harm. Whoa. I'm guessing that's a breeze because that's a strong cold gush. I'm guessing there's a door open somewhere or something. Can you feel that?
Okay, let's listen again right here, as there seems to be a deep groaning voice under my voice when I'm speaking.
I'm guessing there's a door open somewhere or something. Can you feel that? I'm guessing there's a door open somewhere or something. Can you feel that? I'm guessing there's a door open somewhere or something. Can you feel that? I'm guessing there's a door open somewhere or something. Can you feel that?
We go to Justin's camera to see if it was picked up on his audio and also make sure that it wasn't him actually speaking.
We don't mean any harm. Whoa. I'm guessing that's a breeze because that's a strong cold gush. I'm guessing there's a door open somewhere or something. Can you feel that? I'm guessing there's a door open somewhere or something. Can you feel that? I'm guessing there's a door open somewhere or something. Can you feel that?
So let's take a look at this sequence again, as I actually ask for interaction to occur, then I feel the cold burst, and then all of a sudden we also capture this groan or moaning noise.
Feel free to come up and grab us on the arm or get our attention. If you're watching us walk around, don't be shy, come up to us. We don't mean you any harm. Whoa. I'm guessing that's a breeze because that's a strong cold gush. I'm guessing there's a door open somewhere or something. Can you feel that? Holy shit. Did you get that gush of breeze then?
No.
Come through here. I reckon it was so strong. It's got to be a window or something. Is someone here with us? I did actually ask someone to come up to us then, didn't I?
Yeah.
Just as I walked in here. It is colder in here though, so I reckon there's windows smashed here. Alright, well it could very well have just been the breeze coming through.
Video going on around the UVP.
Yeah, alright. Yes. Lots of windows open, could very well have been a gust of breeze. Because it was, although I haven't, that's been the only strong gust. It's not like it's windy outside. It's dead still in fact, look at these trees. Focus, focus.
If there is anyone in here with us right now, show us a sign. Can you give us your name? Tap on the window.
is.
Oh, yeah. Big bus.
That one's going to jump on Justin when he's asleep later.
Big bus.
He's alright if he's up there. Alright, we'll be back a bit later with a camera. I hope you want to speak to us again when we get back.
We head back to the main building where we meet up with Keenan and start setting up a few experiments. One involves sitting a teddy bear in the children's ward with a UHF radio next to it. A bit later I will be patching through some music to this radio.
Set up 2 trigger objects. The teddy bear with the EMF meter in it. I've got a little bowling ball skittle with balls that light up if it senses any sort of vibration. So we're going to leave that run.
We also set up a laser grid and camera aimed down the hallway at the children's ward, which will hopefully pick up some sort of movement or audio during the experiment and through the night. And as we just saw, we also have a static camera aimed directly at the teddy bear inside the children's ward.
Okay, we're going to go upstairs and leave these cameras run so we don't contaminate the audio for a while. Let's see what happens.
We also set up trigger objects in front of this UV-IR camera in the adjacent ward. We placed another camera inside the morgue. We used another trigger object in the room that leads into the morgue. Another one was placed in the large eating hall at the rear of the building. And of course one in the infectious disease ward where we caught the EVP. We made our way upstairs and sat down for about 10 minutes just listening and watching and trying to feel for anything abnormal. And as we didn't sense anything, I decided to start patching through the music to the downstairs UHF radio.
Just patching through this music to the receiver down in the children's ward to see if it invokes some sort of reaction.
When we actually reviewed this footage, we found these unexplained noises. Let's have a listen. As we had the camera with the laser grid close by, we reviewed that footage and were able to pick up the same noises only more faintly. Obviously noises like these are exactly that, just noises, and we can't prove them to be paranormal, but the fact they happen during this music does indicate a disturbance of some kind. Unaware of those noises, we continue to ask EVPs, specifically trying to indicate some sort of intelligence. And as this is a totally unexplored location, we are focusing on hard evidence of audio and visual.
Can you say your name to us as loud as you can? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. How do you use the 1 salute?
With EVP, you must be prepared to be disappointed and keep trying over and over again. We made our way to the eating hall where there was a far more ominous feeling than there was during the day.
Alright, Keenan just documented an 8.1 spike on the millimeter. Well, we're in the, what's this room again, Keenan? So we're going to do an EVP.
Can you show us a sign, knock on the window or something? Or move something, show us that you're here?
Did you just walk up to Keenan before?
Did you just walk up to Keenan before? Can you see us standing here in this room? Why are you still here? Why haven't you moved on? How long have you been here?
Once again we capture no responses, but the feeling in this room had definitely changed from what it was during the day. The EMF meter did spike significantly, but we need to capture hard evidence to substantiate these feelings we are getting, so we keep pushing on and keep trying.
Yeah. This is the dance hall. It's quite well lit at the moment because we've got this stage light on, but also the exit light and the outside lights. So this is normal vision at the moment, it's not infrared. We're going to try for some EVPs in here.
We're sitting in the hall, sitting on the stage, Paul's video taping. My name is Justin.
My name's Paul.
Is there anyone else in here with us right now? Is there anyone involved in a fire in here that would like to talk? Like to talk? I believe there's been a man's voice that's been picked up in here. You're here, can you say something into this recorder?
Nothing on that one.
As we sit here and continue to try for some EVPs, we also use it as a rest point, as we are quite weary now, and with the time being roughly 1:30 AM, we decide it's best to go back to the main building and do some more investigating over there. But before we do, we decide to set up a camera in this hall, and the projector room seems like the perfect place. We head straight to the operating theatre, but experience nothing that could be considered to be paranormal. We then check out the children's ward to see if any of the trigger objects have been disturbed. We also try for some more EVP but have no luck. For the next 45 minutes we basically walked from room to room trying to capture something, and also changing batteries of the static night vision cameras. And the later it got, the more creepy this building seemed to get.
Justin's gone to bed, or at least trying to go to bed. His body clock's different to me because he works morning shifts during the week, so that's why I've decided to stay up. I'm actually currently sitting upstairs. you get patches of absolute dead silence. But then, because we're quite close to the highway, you'll hear cars and trucks, particularly trucks, come past, and trains, and planes, and motorbikes. Is anybody here with me? Kind of looks like a face in the window, doesn't it? I don't know what that is. It's the outside light, I think.
I decide to get up and start using a UV capable camera to walk around with. This is a Sony camera with a filter conversion. This enables it to see visible light, infrared light and UV light. This added wavelength of light coming into the camera lens can actually increase your chances of perhaps capturing something paranormal.
Okay, this is the UV infrared capabilities. The UV is the strobing light. Is there a man in here at the moment with me? Did someone respond to me earlier this evening? Are you going to show yourself? Can you make yourself be heard again? At this point, I was becoming very tired and leg weary, so I tried one last ditch effort over in the main building with the UV camera. With no activity to keep my adrenaline running, and with Justin already fast asleep, I decided to call it a night. But before I did, I set up some extra cameras to cover some more angles during the few hours that we would be both asleep before sunrise. We both slept in separate wards at opposite sides of the building to test our nerves and leave ourselves open and vulnerable while leaving the cameras recording and hopefully picking up something interacting with us. Justin's already up. He's out here somewhere. I'm just going to walk around, see if the cameras are all still in place. After the tedious review process of all these cameras, there was one piece of footage that I felt was worthy to include as potential evidence, and it happened not long after Justin had gone to bed and while I was upstairs sitting in the hallway. Let's have a look. This is the same camera, only without the laser grid this time. Keep your eye on the bottom right hand corner. A light anomaly quickly zooms past the camera and takes a hard right. Keep listening as there's an unexplained noise that occurs. Now, as we watch the replays, you can tell that the anomaly is quite bright and solid. This basically eliminates the possibility of it being dust, as dust can appear quite translucent and it does not move as quick and take sharp turns like that. So this leaves an insect, but usually with insects that are that close to the camera, you can see the wings flapping, and the closer we zoom in, the more we should be able to see some sort of signs of wings moving, which we don't. And it's also moving exceptionally fast when we look at it again in real time. So we have a light anomaly that does not seem to be dust or an insect, followed by an unexplained noise. Could this be paranormal?
For this investigation, we deliberately held back on using certain pieces of equipment as we wanted to focus on trying to capture hard evidence like audio, names given to us via EVP or disembodied voices, or visual evidence, something that we can build a case on, try and identify who actually is in here, if anyone is in here, so we can piece together and present the most accurate evidence possible and justify the building's history. The history of this building, the building itself, and the location is amazing, but unfortunately our evidence was less than amazing. But what we did capture, and the feelings and things we sensed in here, is definitely enough for us to think that there is something here, and that it could pick up at any moment. So we will be back. Massive thanks goes to the owner Keenan and our friend Tracy for enabling this investigation to take place. So from Beyond Boundaries Paranormal, thanks for watching and stay tuned for the next 2 installments of this location.